Good evening. They are known as the Community, a coordinated network of online groups that police allege prey on young people through popular online platforms.
Tonight, Durham police have connected that group to recent threats made against a Pickering public school. CTV's Allison Hurst is live tonight outside that school. And Allison, you've been speaking with parents.
Yes, Nathan, we've been speaking with a lot of parents about this, and there's a lot of concern right now. So there was a letter that came home yesterday outlining all of this from police that added that investigations are still undergoing, so they are limited with what they can say. But parents are telling us that they want answers and transparency, and all of this follows a rally they held Monday morning about safety concerns. Recent threats at her daughter's school has given Lakshmi Achuthan and her family new worries.
Naturally, it makes us more anxious, and my daughter is also quite shaken by all this. So every morning she's like, don't worry, I'll be safe. You know, it's not something you want to hear from an elementary school kid.
William Dunbar Public School has had a string of recent threats. That's prompted the Durham Regional Police Chief, along with the school board's Director of Education, to send a letter to parents saying investigations are ongoing, but that preliminary findings indicate the incidents may be connected to an emerging online threat affecting children and youth.
I feel just saying, yeah, investigations are ongoing, I'm glad they are, but there should be more of a transparency rather than just go home, we have it under control. Well, it doesn't seem that way.
According to Durham Regional Police, the group is called the COM, short for Community, and targets young people, typically ages 8 to 17, through widely used online platforms such as Discord, Snapchat, Telegram, Roblox, Minecraft, Twitch, and Steam.
The most common way is just creating an account, and this is where young people are virtually congregating, and then to have a conversation and try to build a relationship.
On January 27th, the school was placed in a lockdown following a threat to the school that police say was made over the phone.
Honestly, the school is perfectly fine and safe. We did go into a lockdown. Unfortunately, that's not what was communicated to the parents back then when it happened.
Dana Skeet says her 4 grandchildren go to the school and she works there. She says that lockdown happened during lunch, so some classes were left unattended because the lunch supervisor, who usually checks in on several classes at once, couldn't travel between classes.
My grandson was in one of the classes that was left alone. They pushed the desk to the door and they went in the corner, they pulled the blinds down. They knew exactly what to do because we do practice.
Still, many picking up their kids feel there needs to be better communication and are upset with how things have been handled.
No transparency, and that's the biggest thing that I think everybody's upset about.
The letter goes on to say additional information will be shared in the coming days. We reached out to Durham Regional Police to ask them for an interview and a little bit more information as to what's all been going on, but they declined our interview today, saying perhaps they'll be available tomorrow. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Natalie and Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. Outside of Toronto Elementary School today, a rally by parents and students concerned over a raft of teacher suspensions.
As CTV's Beth McDonnell reports, there were calls for the affected teachers to be reinstated.
Dozens of parents and students rallied outside Bowmore Road Junior and Senior Public School, calling for their teachers to be reinstated.
We're not really learning anything. They're giving us worksheets we've already done before.
10 teachers have been fired or suspended at the East End School. Their absences affect around 300 students in grades 7 and 8, but students say many others are also feeling the impacts.
We don't know what's going on. It's still affecting people who have teachers and other kids because there can't be clubs starting back up because of all the chaos going on.
Last week, 8 teachers were suspended on the same day. Earlier in January, the teachers union says 2 others were unjustly fired. CTV has also learned the principal and vice principal are no longer at Bowmore. Parents believe the situation at hand could stem from 2 issues: changes in the teaching model, which required teachers to brush up on more topics, and increasing issues around violence and bullying.
I'm nervous to send him into grade 1. He's protected when he's in the kindergarten playground, but when he goes into the main area, I'm very concerned about his safety at the school.
Despite the TDSB announcing changes in recent days, there is a new superintendent looking after Bowmore. New security measures have also been announced, along with additional supports. Families say the changes don't go far enough.
The term, we want to rebuild trust, that's great. But I find some of those statements about all of the support that is already in the building That is misleading.
I want all the teachers back. I want the teachers back and I want the children safe.
CTV asked the TDSB if the suspensions and firings will be upheld. It says there is no further update at this time. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Also tonight, takedown on the tarmac. An airport worker accused of handling more than just baggage in a Pearson drug bust. Caught on camera. That's just ahead. But first, let's go outside for a live look at the city on this Wednesday night. We saw some beautiful sunshine earlier today, but it is still quite cold out there, and it will be fairly frigid with the wind chill overnight. Lindsay Morrison is here with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Yeah, Natalie, I love that live shot there. You can tell that it's getting just a little bit brighter here at the beginning of this 6 o'clock hour as the days get ever longer. It is chilly out, though. -5 degrees at Pearson feels like -8 right now. We have had winds out of the northwest today, but they've been mostly calm around the GTA. We also had that beautiful sunshine earlier on. Hopefully you had an opportunity to enjoy it. There will be a little more in the way of cloud cover for tomorrow. Here's your evening and your overnight at a glance. This is a cold overnight low at -15 degrees. Waking up tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like -20. And we've got some snow in the forecast for Friday. So we'll give you an idea of the timing and how much we're expecting coming up. But for now, Natalie, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Well, Toronto's bars and restaurants will have the opportunity to start pouring a cold one before the sun's up during the Olympics.
Starting as early as 6 a.m., Olympic watchers will be able to order a drink in the hopes it could be a boozy boost for local businesses. CTV's Raheem Ladani is live tonight with reaction, and Raheem, it's not the first time the city's done this.
Hey, Nathan, no, it's not. There certainly is a track record for this. The rationale for Mayor Olivia Chow and City Council is that they expect a lot of people to be waking up early to watch Team Canada at the Winter Olympics in Italy. So why not give businesses an opportunity to make some extra cash? However, outside of City Hall, reaction to this decision is actually somewhat mixed. There's always a game on inside Cafe Diplomatico. And with the Winter Olympics in Italy, customers are looking forward to having a breakfast cocktail.
Champagne and orange juice, 6 in the morning? Why not?
The city is allowing restaurants and bars open their taps starting at 6 a.m. due to the time difference as people wake up early to watch the games in Italy. Barry, visiting from the United Kingdom, thinks it's great.
Toronto is quite a safe city anyway, so you don't see a lot of drunkenness around.
A bump for local businesses is why Mayor Olivia Chow brought forward the motion, which has wide council support.
As a city, we should not get in the way of small businesses in our communities, pubs and cafes, showcasing the games.
Businesses will identify the events and the sports that they want to open up for and, have the draft flowing and bringing people together.
Back on College Street, not everyone feels it's a responsible decision.
Nobody drinks in the morning. It's not productive.
The negative obviously could be people drinking in the morning and choosing to drive their vehicle while intoxicated. But at the same time, that's kind of just like an individual decision.
Coffee, something to eat, that's okay. But alcohol, I don't think so.
This isn't the first time local bars have been able to serve spirits early. It happened during the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia, the 2022 FIFA Men's World Cup in Qatar, and the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. It begs the question, should Toronto adopt this policy year-round?
For example, Montreal is looking at a 24-hour system. Will it succeed? I'm not sure. But these are the kinds of the debates that are happening in large urban centers all over the world.
For the next 2.5 weeks, it's bottoms up before sunrise. Now, if you do plan to partake early morning at around 6 a.m., make sure to call the restaurant ahead of time because this is a voluntary program. Not all restaurants will be participating, and it will be in effect until February 22nd. Reporting live, I'm Raheem Ladani. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Raheem. Also today, the city provided an update on its snow clearing efforts after a record amount of snow fell in last month's massive storm. Officials say crews have cleared more than 95% of Toronto's school bus loading zones, with the remainder to be cleared over the next few nights. The city says there's also a focus on removing snow from bike lanes on Bloor, Yonge, Davenport, Danforth, and Huntingwood Drive. As the cleanup continues, parking is still banned on designated snow routes.
A petition has been launched in support of expanding Allen Gardens. The group, the Friends of Allen Gardens, says the city needs more greenhouse space and is calling for an investment to double the footprint of the conservatory and revitalize the surrounding parkland. The petition says the expansion would create more space for community gatherings.
The Premier was in Mississauga today delivering remarks to the city's Board of Trade. He touted efforts to improve free trade within Canada, as well as his desire to eliminate the HST on all new home purchases.
We've done it for first-time home buyers, and I told our team and I told the Prime Minister it's not moving the needle, and it never moved the needle. So we're going to do it, hopefully, for anyone. If you want to buy your second time buying or third time, we're getting rid of that 13% right across the board.
Meanwhile, 2 women were escorted out by security for trying to interrupt Ford's remarks. The demonstrators were calling for compensation for Grassy Narrows First Nation, citing the mercury poisoning which has impacted the community.
To Pearson Airport next, and a CTV News exclusive video of a takedown within the secure area of the airport.
As CTV's Jon Woodward reports, a baggage handler caught in the act of moving a bag of cocaine decided to run.
A baggage handler discovered by officers hiding in a luggage cart at Pearson International Airport, and then a takedown on the tarmac.
It's somebody who's obviously in a state of panic. They want to hide. There's not a lot of places to hide on the apron of an airport.
Pearson's surveillance video obtained by CTV News shows the baggage handler, Nigel Welsh, starting his day like any other, passing into Pearson's secure area. According to evidence presented to Superior Court in Brampton, he unloaded luggage from this plane arriving from Jamaica in 2021, but stuck around. Security video shows him leaving the plane after everyone else is gone with a backpack. The court heard a mechanic saw him and called his manager, and soon a chase was on. Other security video shows Welsh and the mechanic running through the airport tunnels. Welsh drops the bag and disappears. Police and CBSA officers found cell phones, 9 bricks of cocaine, and 1 pouch of marijuana, worth about $1 million altogether. Officers started searching all of Terminal 3, and as they are going through luggage carts, that's where they spot him. He jumps out and runs again before being tackled by, well, everyone. In court, Welsh maintained he wasn't the man carrying the bag, and the only reason that he was hiding in the luggage carts was because he'd lost his airport ID. Prosecutors pointed out the phone they found with that bag had accounts with his email address. Welsh was sentenced to 9 years in prison in January. He's appealing it.
In that world of drug smuggling, if you're that person, that's what you've been paid for. You're going to take that fall.
Former Toronto detective Mark Mendelson says there are so many bags coming in and so much money to be made, this will happen occasionally. Last year, the Mounties charged 2 baggage handlers, and in 2019, 2 Sunwing employees were charged in a drug ring operating out of Pearson. For those who want to try it, the airport is not a place you can make a mistake.
It's high risk. We're talking about a premise here that is laden with security cameras. They're everywhere at Pearson Airport.
Cameras that caught him running and recorded him getting caught. Jon Woodward, CTV News.
An investigation is ongoing after a man was struck and killed by a vehicle in Etobicoke last night. The 28-year-old was struck shortly before 7:30 near Dundas and Acorn Avenue, just west of Kipling GO Station. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. The 25-year-old male driver remained at the scene.
The Toronto Police Service takes every single collision that occurs very seriously, especially when a pedestrian is struck. While this collision is in the beginning stages of the investigation, I urge drivers and pedestrians to please exercise caution on icy roads and to drive according to the conditions.
Police are asking anyone with information or dashcam video to contact them. Meantime, another pedestrian was killed earlier in the day yesterday, struck by a vehicle near Steeles and Petrolia Road East in North York.
2 pedestrians were rushed to hospital with serious injuries after they were hit by a vehicle in Scarborough. Toronto police say this happened at around 11:20 near Warden and Bertrand Avenue, just north of Eglinton. The driver involved remained at the scene. Paramedics say the injuries were not life-threatening. And Peel paramedics transported 10 patients to hospital this afternoon after a multi-vehicle crash in Brampton involving a Zoom transit bus. It happened around 3 near Queen and Hanson Road. One of the people hurt was originally listed in serious condition, but first responders later said all injuries were minor. No word yet on what led to the crash.
Well, it has been a smoother travel day for commuters on GO Transit as Metrolinx says crews are working around the clock to get the network back to normal after Monday's derailment outside Union Station. Metrolinx says the majority of track repairs are done, but they are still fixing the signaling system, which suffered significant damage in the Monday morning incident. Today was another day of modified service on the GO Transit network. Officials say operations went as intended for the morning rush, despite some delays caused by high customer volumes and a reduced schedule. Riders at Union Station told us they were able to get where they needed to go.
My commuting was pretty good. There was just a little wait as we were entering in, but other than that, it was good.
I know the city is doing what they're supposed to be doing, so I don't want to be the one to complain. But at the same time, it's not ideal.
Today was really, really smooth. Yesterday, my train was delayed by about 4 minutes, so it's getting on track.
Metrolinx has said the impacts are expected to extend into tomorrow, adding, quote, "We realize Monday's events created delays for thousands of our customers, and we thank them for their continued understanding as we work to restore full service on our lines." Addressing riders directly, the statement says, quote, "We know it's been a challenging commute this week, and we appreciate your patience."
As a long-awaited promise of high-speed rail begins to take shape, those interested in the plans for a Toronto to Quebec City route got a chance to learn more today.
It's all part of a series of public consultations being held by the group behind the project. CTV's Jon Woodward reports.
Chris Drew is taking transit to see family in Peterborough tonight. He's hopeful that one day he'll ride high-speed rail. But for now,
it's slow, it's painful, it's not good. It's public transit, which is important, but it can be so much better.
So he's here at an open house for Alto, the Crown Corporation tasked with creating Canada's first ever high-speed rail line.
We need a service level that other countries in the world have. I've been to Japan, I've been to Germany, so let's do it for Canada. Why not?
Today, I'm announcing the launch of Alto, the largest infrastructure project in Canadian history.
Then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the project just under a year ago. 7 stops running along the Toronto to Quebec City corridor with speeds up to 300 kilometers per hour.
For people, say, who live in Toronto and want to get into Montreal, they can now get there in under 3 hours, Toronto to Ottawa in under 2 hours. It's a real game changer for Canadians.
The train has not left the station yet. These public consultations taking place today and tomorrow at St. Lawrence Market North Building are some of the 26 open houses Alto's hosting in Ontario and Quebec, educating the public while also getting feedback.
We've needed it for a long time, and it's just going to be a net positive.
I think it's just a very, very necessary step at this point in time in the development of our country.
If we could get it built faster, that would be greater.
Earliest estimates would put shovels in the ground sometime between 2029 and 2031, and that's just for Phase 1, connecting Ottawa and Montreal. Toronto would come later on.
One question is where the stations would be located. It would seem natural that anything coming in and out of downtown Toronto would do so from Union Station, but that's not necessarily the case.
We're still exploring a number of sites, but they have to be in and around the area of Union Station.
And while planes run regularly from both Pearson and the island, many here say they're in favor of high-speed rail.
It's more environmentally friendly than flying.
The cost will be sky high. Trudeau committed more than $3 billion just for the design phase. But while he will ride the bus tonight, Chris Drew says,
well, what's the cost of not doing it? Continued congestion, slowness.
The Toronto Open House will continue tomorrow at the St. Lawrence Market North Building during the day and after 5 p.m., with more set for next week in Scarborough, Markham, Pickering, and Peterborough. Jon Woodward, CTV News.
Still to come tonight, a warning to Canadians planning to visit Cuba, why the government is urging caution and what travelers are being told to do.
They frequently go toe-to-toe in the House of Commons, sparring over differing views of what's best for Canada.
But today, the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Official Opposition did something practically unheard of. They sat down for a talk. CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Couture reports.
Good to see you. This is not hope. This is not hope over here. Well, look at this.
The Conservative leader with a dig at his Liberal colleagues ahead of a meeting with the Prime Minister.
We have been working to fast-track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger. So it's he that is holding up the show.
A senior government source tells CTV News the Prime Minister was hoping to talk about nation-building measures, something the Liberal government feels is critical as Canada prepares for the review of CUSMA.
In fact, we need to work together.
Conservative MP Jamil Jivani, meanwhile, is heading to Washington this week on a solo mission to improve trade relations between Canada and the U.S. He's a longtime friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
I haven't talked to him in about a year about those issues. I would like to use that relationship for the good of the country, but I also don't want to interfere in what the Prime Minister's doing.
Jivani was pushing for a meeting with the Prime Minister, but he did get one with the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade.
Minister LeBlanc gave a briefing to Mr. Jivani, who I don't believe is the trade critic for the opposition, certainly not the Minister of International Trade, nor the Prime Minister.
But some members of cabinet are casting doubt on whether Jivani can or will help.
I really hope that he spoke about the closure of GM in his writing, because Ingersoll has been closed for now 4 months, and I haven't heard him once.
While a number of Conservative MPs are confident Jivani can use his contacts to make a difference, Poilievre says he told his MP the most important thing is to fight for the jobs in his community. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister was in Washington today as the Trump administration seeks members for a critical minerals trading bloc. The Americans say the goal is to diversify global supply in the critical minerals market while strengthening partner countries. Right now, China dominates. The issue is quickly becoming a top priority for the U.S. as it tries to help shield auto and electronics manufacturers from supply chain disruptions. Critical minerals are needed for everything from jet engines to smartphones.
Canadians traveling to Cuba are being urged to exercise a high degree of caution.
The travel advisory comes as the U.S. is urging its citizens to brace for protests. CTV's Adrian Gobriel on the warning and what you can do if your travel plans include Cuba.
A hotbed for Canadian tourists for its warm waters, sandy shores, and rich culture. And now a heightened travel advisory has been issued for Cuba. Posted today, this notice is urging Canadians to exercise a high degree of caution in Cuba due to worsening shortages of electricity, fuel, and basic necessities, including food, water, and medicine, adding that the situation is unpredictable and could deteriorate, disrupting flight availability on short notice.
All the power gets knocked out and the cell phone coverage gets knocked out.
To reduce pressure on the country's electrical network, Cuba has been scheduling lengthy daily power cuts, though Ottawa says unexpected nationwide outages may last more than 24 hours. Between April 2023 and March 2024, roughly 700,000 Canadians traveled to Cuba, making it the country's fifth most popular travel destination. Canadians on the island should heed this advice, according to one tourism management professor.
Take an actual paper copy of your passport, because if you run out of power, your phone may not work to show the picture of it. Bring along any extra medication. Once again, with your travel insurance, make sure what the cancellation policies actually are.
Cuba is largely a cash-only island. The American dollar and euro are widely accepted, though the advisory warns of petty theft and to avoid showing large amounts of cash in public.
For Canadians who are in Cuba or those with plans to still travel there, you're being advised to go online and sign up with Registration for Canadians Abroad. It may also be a good idea to keep the phone number for the embassy in Havana on hand. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
In the Middle East, health officials say Israeli attacks killed 24 Palestinians in the Gaza Strip today. There were airstrikes and tank fire in northern and southern areas of the territory. Israel said it was responding to Palestinian militants opening fire on its troops near an armistice line with Hamas. One soldier was injured. The military also says a senior Hamas commander was targeted in one of the attacks.
A man who tried to assassinate Donald Trump at a Florida golf course in 2024 has been sentenced to life in prison. Prosecutors wanted life without parole for Ryan Ruth, saying he has never expressed regret or remorse. They insisted his crimes warrant a life sentence because he had plotted the assassination for months and was willing to kill anyone who got in the way. The 59-year-old was found guilty last September on 5 charges. The defense asked the judge to impose a 27-year sentence.
About 1/4 of the immigration enforcement officers deployed to Minnesota are being withdrawn. The White House's border czar says the decision follows state and local officials agreeing to turn over arrested immigrants.
Given this increase in unprecedented collaboration, and as a result of the need for less law enforcement officers to do this work in a safer environment, I have announced effective immediately we will draw down 700 people affected today.
The withdrawal will see about 2,000 officers remain in the state. Tom Homan says a widespread pullout will only occur after people stop interfering with federal agents and setting up roadblocks to impede their work. There have been weeks of turmoil in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul, especially following the killing of 2 American citizens by federal officers.
Also tonight, Olympic countdown with 2 days to go until the opening ceremony. Our Heather Butts is in Italy as the athletes and the fans pour in.
And I'm Pat.4, and coming up on Consumer Alert, will you be buying a new vehicle this year? Consumer Reports is out with its top 10 picks for 2026. There are some familiar favorites back again, but a couple of new models also made the list. I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
Well, we have found ourselves in a bit of a cold streak here. Today, our 18th straight day with the temperature below the freezing mark. The last time we had a winter quite this cold was over a decade ago. And tonight will be another one to remember. Minus 15 degrees for the low, feeling like minus 20. It's going to feel into the minus 20s in areas like Parry Sound, Bancroft, Orillia, and Peterborough. This weekend, expected to feel more like minus 30. A full look at your forecast is coming up. Stay with us.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, with the average cost of a new vehicle now about $65,000, if you're buying one, you want to make sure it's built to last.
You also want it to be safe and reliable, as well as a good value. Consumer Reports just released its top 10 list for 2026. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Natalie. The survey by Consumer Reports is held in high regard in the automotive sector as they have feedback from almost 400,000 vehicle owners. Some old favorites continue to make the top 10 list, and 9 of the top 10 are hybrids. Every day, Consumer Reports tests new vehicles at its state-of-the-art facility, measuring everything from safety and performance to fuel efficiency and cargo space. Beyond the test track, its member surveys give exclusive real-world insights into reliability and owner satisfaction from about 380,000 vehicles this year.
The CARS team looks at data from our testing and from member surveys to determine what are the 10 vehicles that stand out most in their class. These are the vehicles that are easy recommendations to make and a great starting point for any car shopper.
SUVs are as popular as ever. This year, the Subaru's Crosstrek and Forester, along with the Toyota Grand Highlander, were all top picks. If you're looking for something more upscale, top luxury SUVs include the Lexus NX and BMW X5.
We also have a couple great sedans on the list with the Honda Civic and Toyota Camry. Both of these performed well in our tests, get terrific fuel economy, and are very reliable.
For drivers who want a truck that's easy to live with, the Ford Maverick is the top choice for best small pickup, and the Ford F-150 makes the list too, the first full-size pickup in years to score high enough to be a top pick. The Tesla Model Y is the top pick for EVs. And for the first time, all 10 of Consumer Reports' 2026 top picks are available as hybrid or EV versions. All of the top picks also come standard with key safety features, including automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection. Any of these top picks would be a good place to start if you're looking for a new vehicle, as they're considered outstanding in their respective categories. And hybrid vehicles will cost you several $1,000s more than gas models, but they offer better fuel economy, quicker acceleration, and quieter interiors. They also have a better resale value when you go to sell it or trade it in. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Well, we're noticing a bit more sunlight in the evening, which feels good. We had a lot of sunshine today, also feels good.
Oh, it is so good for the soul. It warms you up even when it's still so cold outside.
I know. You know, we're waiting for some warmer days. We're getting the sunnier ones, and it's starting to feel a little warmer with that sun. But yes, we do have another little cold snap to get through here. In fact, I'm anticipating Environment Canada will issue Some cold warnings as we make our way into the weekend. But as early as tonight, it is going to feel frigid. So we'll take the sunshine that we had today. Here's what it looked like earlier on. This was in the Pickering area today, and we take you to Frenchman's Bay. This is a popular place for people to do some ice fishing. Even with the extensive cold weather pattern that we've been experiencing, you want to take care and make sure that any ice, be it on lakes, be it on bays like this, is safe. You want to make sure you know how to measure it before you venture out. And generally speaking, Lake Ontario is one of the lakes that you want to avoid. It's not the safest when it comes to ice. But yes, we do find ourselves with some very cold temperatures again tonight. I want to acknowledge our neighbors in Western Canada. Look at Calgary right now, where it is 15 degrees, and it's 11 this hour in the city of Vancouver. So taste of spring in Western Canada, not so much for us here at home. It is currently -6 degrees at Pearson Airport. We are on our way to a forecast overnight low tonight of -15. Seasonal norm is -2 degrees. We were close to that yesterday, not quite as close today. We made it to about -5 for a high. And tomorrow we're anticipating about -4 degrees. Not bad. A little more cloud tomorrow compared to today. And then Friday, we're going to be watching and waiting for a little bit of snow. So we'll talk about that next. -9 degrees tomorrow for you in Grand Bend, -6 in Brantford, -5 in places like Oakville and Georgina, -9 in the Minden area tomorrow, with a general increase in cloud cover expected to happen. So this snow on Friday, it's nothing like the storm systems we had the last couple of last couple of weeks here in southern Ontario. This one's a clipper system, and with it we are expecting some pretty strong winds, so that's going to blow some of the snow around, and we are also expecting a couple of fresh centimeters. This clipper looks to impact both the Friday morning and afternoon drive. So just be aware of that. Again, it's not a heavy amount of snow, but there's 8 a.m. You can see that it's widespread. It tapers off. Might get another little dose of snow into the early evening, and then overnight into Saturday and through Saturday, we dry out. We will enjoy some sunshine. You can make out those northwest winds that are going to make it feel cold. However, as we've been discussing, Georgian Bay is now mostly frozen, so lake effect snow less of a concern off Georgian Bay. For us, with the system, we're expecting anywhere from maybe 2 to 5 centimeters of snow with this one. You can expect higher amounts the closer you get to the shoreline of Lake Huron, because it's still not quite frozen. There will be a little more lake enhancement. And then heading into the weekend, of course, the big story will be the cold. Here is your 7-day forecast. We go from -2 degrees on Friday to an overnight low of -20 degrees, and then not expected to get much warmer than -13 degrees on Saturday. At least it will be sunny. And generally speaking, it is quiet heading into next week, but the cold will be with us at least through the weekend. That's the weather for now. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, the call for blood donations as a lifeline for Canadians living with sickle cell disease and the urgent need for diversity among the donors. Our Pauline Chan explains just ahead. Today marks World Cancer Day. Canada sees an average of nearly 700 new cancer diagnoses every day. The disease remains the leading cause of death in the country, with roughly 2 in 5 Canadians expected to develop cancer at some point in their life. World Cancer Day aims to highlight the role of personalized patient-centered care in fighting the illness. And the Terry Fox Foundation reached a major milestone. The charity's raised more than $1 billion for cancer research since it began, following Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope in 1980. As part of marking World Cancer Day, the foundation says all donations will be matched up to $100,000.
A special blood donor clinic was held today in honor of Black History Month.
And as our health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, it was also to pay tribute to a young man who was a valued part of Toronto's sickle cell community.
Rashawn Gabriel was just 24 when he died of sickle cell disease. His mother spoke of the hereditary condition he fought against his whole life and the importance of blood products in easing his suffering.
I think that it's important that everybody does hear my story and how learn how important it is to give blood, so that's why we're here today.
Because of the mutation that causes sickle cell disease, the hemoglobin tends to crystallize. That damages the red blood cell. That causes the red blood cell to block up blood vessels, and that means that oxygen delivery downstream can't occur.
Gabriel Badejo, who was diagnosed at age 1, says it's an extremely painful condition.
Sometimes you have a slow flare-up, sometimes you can have immediate flare-up. You know, I can be standing here right in front of you perfectly fine, and 5 minutes later, I might not be able to walk because I'm in so much pain.
Chloe Jang is with SCAGO, the sickle cell awareness group of Ontario. She says sometimes sickle cell patients get whole blood, other times they do a red cell exchange, which gives the patient normal red blood cells.
For a typical person, they need about 7 to 12 bags of blood for every time they do this exchange therapy. And you imagine one person who donates blood, they donate 1 unit of blood every time. So you can imagine the magnitude of blood that one person might need in a year.
Today's event also included education sessions to learn more about sickle cell and blood donation. SCAGO and Canadian Blood Services is especially reaching out to healthy Black men as potential donors. For more information, go to blood.ca. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The Muppet Show is back with a new star-studded special that could be the jumping-off point for a broader return.
We are so excited to be back where it all started and then ended and then is maybe starting again depending on how tonight goes.
I've been burned before.
Kermit, Miss Piggy, and many more iconic Jim Henson characters are back for the show, which debuted today on Disney+. It also features appearances from the special's executive producers, Sabrina Carpenter and Seth Rogen, as well as Maya Rudolph. The release comes 50 years after the debut of the original Muppet Show in 1976.
The All Things Go Music Festival has announced the lineup for its Toronto edition.
Tell you the truth.
Local rockers The Beaches are among the 12 acts set to take the stage at RBC Amphitheatre on June 6th and 7th. Pop stars Lorde and Kesha will headline the two-day festival. Pre-sale tickets go on sale tomorrow before becoming available to everyone on Friday. Also on Friday, tickets go on sale for a newly announced tour featuring 3 Canadian indie bands: Metric, Broken Social Scene, and Stars. The first two are hitting the road in support of new albums that are on the way in the coming months. The All the Feelings tour stops in 18 cities across North America starting in June. It wraps up here in Toronto at RBC Amphitheatre August 7th.
After the break, Merch Madness, the Toronto jersey that flew off the shelves at a record tempo. We'll tell you about the preseason win for women's basketball.
Home prices in Toronto continue to slide last month. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez looks at the numbers.
Home sales fell 19% last month from January 2024, and the average selling price is down as well. It's the first time the average selling price dropped to under $1 million since January of 2021. It's currently at $973,000, and a home now spends an average of 45 days on the market. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says it expects the weakness to last through the first half of the year. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, reporting earnings today. The tech firm reported $97 billion U.S. in revenue for its latest quarter, but investors are interested in how much it will spend on AI infrastructure. Alphabet puts that at $175 to $185 billion U.S. this year. Tech stocks still getting hammered on the markets. Advanced Micro Devices down another 17% today. Software firms specifically are sinking on concerns that AI will replace what they do. Palantir Technologies dropped by 11% today. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.17. West Texas Intermediate is up almost $2 to 65.14. Western Canadian Select is up to 47.92, and the TSX gained 182 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
And as home prices deflate in the GTA, the City of Toronto has issued its interim property tax bills for 2026. They are calculated based on last year's taxes, and they won't reflect Mayor Chow's proposed 2.2% tax hike for 2026, which is awaiting City Council approval next week. If passed, that increase will be included in this year's final tax bill.
While home sales are sluggish in the city, interest in office space rentals hit levels not seen before the pandemic. That's according to commercial real estate giant Avison Young. It's out with its market report for the GTA for 2025, and it shows that for the first time since 2019, the amount of office space leased outpaced the amount of office space that was vacated. The report notes it captures some of the return to office activity that ramped up last year, largely led by financial institutions, but that trend should accelerate as employers seek space for staff.
As the Toronto Tempo prepare for their inaugural season, we got another signal today of just how much excitement is building up for the team's WNBA debut. The team today released a limited edition Tempo 26 jersey. They were described by the team as a collector's piece, marking the start of something special. The initial batch of jerseys sold out in about 4 minutes, and a later supply of pre-orders was snapped up quickly as well. The team posted on X, "Best fans in the league." Additional jerseys will be available once players are signed. Thank you, Tempo community.
A likely Hall of Famer has reportedly been traded to the Toronto Raptors in a multi-team deal. Chris Paul announced in November this would be his final NBA season. ESPN says Toronto will not require the veteran point guard to report to the team and could trade him before tomorrow's deadline. The Raptors are said to be sending Ochai Agbaji and cash to the Nets. The Clippers were also involved in the deal that allows Toronto to avoid the league's luxury tax. The Raptors host Minnesota tonight.
As Canada gets set for the official opening of the Milano Cortina Games, a well-known member of the Canadian Olympic team has been injured. Snowboarder Mark McMorris crashed today during big air training, and the three-time bronze medalist had to be taken off the course on a stretcher. There have been no details yet on the extent of his injuries. Staff from the Canadian Olympic Committee and Canada Snowboard are attending to him. Officials say more information will be provided as it becomes available. The 32-year-old Regina native was getting ready for tomorrow night's qualifying. McMorris is making his 4th appearance at the Olympics. Earlier in the day, Canada began competition at the Games with a win in mixed doubles curling. Brett Gallant and Jocelyn Peterman defeated Czechia's duo 10-5 in round-robin opener. The husband and wife team from Alberta grabbed an early lead, scoring 4 points in the second end. Canada is looking to return to the podium after missing out on a medal in 2022. Elsewhere, Jeffrey Reid was the top Canadian in men's alpine skiing today, finishing 10th. Well, excitement is already sky high for athletes, families, and fans as we are now less than 48 hours away from the opening ceremony.
But as Heather Butts reports, the weather so far has been less than golden.
A constant rain soaking the city, turning popular landmarks into a sea of umbrellas. In the north, it meant snow for the mountain regions just in time for the global event, drawing Olympic fans from around the world, including the Grandillo family from Montreal.
This is the 30th birthday trip, kind of a bucket list item for us. The opening ceremonies are on my birthday, on my 30th birthday, and being Italian, it just seemed like the most fitting event.
Though they expected more Olympic flair to be flooding the streets, not rain.
To be honest, it's not really in your face. We do see it here and there at corners, but we haven't really captured that vibe yet. I'm sure it's coming though.
Their sights set on snowboarding and hockey. With the games spread out, Milan will only see part of the action.
Per il momento no.
No?
No.
Few crowds right now, he says, but they are expected. Organizers say all competition venues are fully operational. Still, construction at the hockey rink isn't complete.
Do we have every single space in that venue finished? No. And is it absolutely needed for the games? No.
Aside from the main facilities, there are sure signs something monumental is about to happen here, drawing more than just regular tourists.
Here's something else adding to the energy. Media from around the world, such as myself, here to cover this event. Take a look at the rooftop studios using the historic Duomo as a backdrop.
Milano, Cortina. We only just got here and we were like, wow, everything's Olympics. It's great. It's so much fun. I love it.
The organizing committee is pointing to the torch relay as a driver for national excitement.
This is fun to be in an environment with like thousands of people and all here for just one simple reason. It's fun.
That momentum is also reflected in demand from spectators, with roughly 1.2 million event tickets already sold and only a limited number remaining for the opening ceremony. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
After a competition involving more than 2,500 dogs and more than 200 different breeds, it came down to one.
A pampered pooch with a local connection won the world's most coveted show dog prize.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Canadian-born Penny was chosen as top dog last night. The 4-year-old competed against 2,500 other dogs, more than 200 breeds. Penny's breeder and co-owner live in Clarington. Teresa Connors-Chan offered her thoughts on the big win.
Well, Penny's been showing here in the U.S. as a special for the last just over 2 years. Her handler is one of the greatest of all time handlers in Dobermans and in the sport. He was the last one to handle a Doberman in 1989. Was the last time a Doberman won, and he was actually handling that Doberman then. So this is pretty cool for him.
All right, way to go. So I guess the dog will need a coat tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I think most four-legged friends could use a coat, maybe those boots for going for an evening walk. But I think this is a good opportunity to remind everyone that if it's too cold outside for you, it's too cold outside for your pets. So make sure they are spending lots of time inside as well. We've talked about how chilly it's going to be tonight. Here's a look at tomorrow's forecast daytime highs. So this is a bit of an improvement. After starting off the day at minus 15 degrees tomorrow morning, we should climb to around -4. A little more cloud tomorrow. We've got that light snow for Friday. Again, it falls during the daytime hours. Might impact your drives, though, both times. Daytime high of -2 degrees, but the temperature plummets at night to -20 degrees, feeling more like -30 to kick off the weekend. Natalie and Nathan.
Thank you, Lindsay. Be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with our next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thank you for watching.